Colts Nation, if helmets or helmet accessories interest you, make sure to go to greengridiron.com and use code INDSYN at checkout to get the discount code with it. Whether it's mini helmets, full-size helmets, visors, clips, whatever it may be, different face masks, different variations of helmets, alternate helmets, whatever the case, you can get it at Green Gridiron. And again, that's code INDSYN at checkout for the discount. Thanks for stopping by for another video, and now let's get into it. What's going on, Colts Nation? I appreciate you joining me for another video where in this one, we're going to talk a little bit about the Salvon Ahmed situation, the severe leg injury or severe ankle injury that he ended up suffering at practice due to a hip drop tackle, and what went along with that. I was hoping to get this to you yesterday. I was waiting for more information. By the time I realized ain't nothing coming out today, it was too late. So, I'm recording this later in the night, but getting to this to you guys as early as I can here, and just wanted to kind of talk about the situation. I think it's a pretty prevalent one with the way the league is going, and with the situation we had last year where we had Josh Downs, due to a hip drop tackle, ended up missing weeks 1 and 2 because of an ankle injury he sustained in training camp, due to the same thing. Now, I don't know. I know a lot about the other teams in the league. I do a pretty good job of keeping up with all the other teams in the league. I don't know if I've heard other teams having the issue of like hip drop tackles in practice. Now, of course, in practice, you're generally not doing that anyways, right? At least the stars, right? Which might be why I'm not hearing about it, But this was a developmental period. For the developmental periods in full padded practice, these younger guys or guys at the bottom of the roster, veteran guys at the bottom of the roster, they want them to get reps and be able to tackle in practice because these guys are going into the preseason game. They want them to be good going into the preseason game, right? Prepared. And from that aspect, I get it. But now we're sitting in a situation where a good veteran player, seemingly somebody the locker room really enjoys, he is now gone for the year. Right, somebody that was just hoping to stick on a team, even if it was practice squad. Somebody that was just hoping to get another opportunity. He's had success in the NFL. So, and as somebody who's a fantasy football manager and has been for a long time, I've kind of paid attention to his journey, right, with the Dolphins, and since then, right, bouncing around, never really getting another opportunity to be a star on a team, but nonetheless, just sad for him, and the situation is it's just different, right? And before we talk about everything, there's some information that Shane brings up and some different questions that are asked. So I want to go ahead and go through this with you guys. This video that we're going to listen to is 2 minutes and 15 seconds. James Boyd clipped this out and put it on Twitter. So shout out to James Boyd for getting this out there. And again, I just want to be able to get this to you guys and let you guys hear what Shane had to say about the whole situation and the undrafted free agent safety that made it happen. And then we will continue to discuss.
Thoughts and prayers with him right now. Obviously, got a severe leg injury in practice. Never want to see that happen. I know we don't encourage hip drop tackles. I know Trey's down in the dumps, and I don't think he's trying to do that. We're just trying to, create an edge is what I'm trying to get done, especially in the developmental. Those guys are going to have to tackle, come preseason. So, but thoughts and prayers with Salvon, and hopefully he has a speedy recovery.
So that was a live tackling period for them?
Yeah, the developmental, as you guys have seen the last, couple days, we've been live with those guys, just getting them ready, for tackling in the preseason.
So, just it kind of happened in the end zone. Is that an area of the field where maybe you've got to use some judgment, or what do you think?
Yeah, he's chasing him down right there, trying to make a play before he scores. Again, I'm sure he obviously didn't mean to do it. Injuries happen in football. It's a very unfortunate situation for Salvon, but like I said, thoughts and prayers with him, and our team will support him.
You wrestle with this stuff a lot, I'm sure, as a coach, right? How physical to be and that kind of thing. Just how do you square it all?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think, training camp is where you want to create the edge and the toughness and the identity of your football team. And so, you have live periods, and it's really just an unfortunate situation.
What do you think of the team coming around, Salvon, and obviously AR coming over there, DeForest Buckner, and Cam Bynum praying for him.
Yeah, I thought it was tremendous, just the team camaraderie that our guys have, and Cam praying over them with the whole team there. Just shows the tightness of this group as it comes together. It's a new year with new faces and guys coming together. I think it shows a lot. Just the closeness of this team right now.
Just how difficult or delicate, I guess, is it to then have to strap it back up and go out there and finish practice?
Yeah,
that's just football.
There's no questions. Obviously, there's a lot of thoughts going along in my head during that situation. Talked to some of the leaders on the team. Wanted to get that last 2-minute situation in there. Felt that we needed that. They were on board with that, so we went ahead and finished practice.
Okay, so there are some things to come from that. I know earlier in the day, especially if you follow me on Twitter, then you kind of know, you might have seen something I said. There are a couple different things where I said, cut the kid. Like, I'm sorry, but like, you're an undrafted free agent rookie. Like, it just doesn't matter, bro. You got to learn how to practice. You can't hurt guys. Now, it is frustrating. This happened in the end zone. Like, this is practice. He's trying to make a play. I get that. But since you're in practice and it's your own team, if he's clearly going to score anyways, then just let him score. Like, you were chasing him down. The coaches saw that you were chasing him down. You almost got there. Put your hands on him, but you don't have to grab him and bring him down when he's scoring, right? Like, the part of he was in the end zone is the part that I saw where I was like, well, then cut the guy. What are we doing? Cut the guy, right? Now, I do think there's other elements to this that could work out in terms of galvanizing the team. This team's been together for a while. A lot of the guys on this team have been together for a while. There's some new pieces, and things like this can also bring guys together, right? Like, I want to back up here. I'm going to go look at some of the pictures and show you guys, because I think something like this, when something serious happens and you kind of all go through it together and it's something you witness together, I think that togetherness can be good for everybody, right? Through and this is in life as well, like through disappointment, through tragedy, there are good things that can come from that, as long as you don't let it take you down, right? And these guys being professional athletes, the way these guys are built, that's the way I would expect it to be. And so let's check this out now. This is picture. Obviously, you have Goodson here with the medical team. This is DeForest Buckner and Anthony Richardson checking up on him, just trying to console him. Obviously, severe leg injury. By all accounts, it sounds like this is Dak Prescott-esque. I don't know the severity. You can't see anything here. There's no video, there's no pictures of what's going to happen, and there won't be. So in this situation, this is a guy who's feeling an incredible amount of pain. He's feeling emotional pain from knowing that because of this injury, like, not only is this season wasted, he might not play again, right? Like, is anybody going to pick him up after this, right? Like, the things I can't even imagine the different ways that this hurts him, right? So shout out to a couple of the leaders on this team, maybe the two biggest leaders, right? Your quarterback, and then DeForest Buckner on the defensive side, being like the leader of this team and kind of the heart and soul of the team, and those guys consoling them. And then here's where you get the entire team gathering around everybody. You see the specialists coming in. Everybody just gathering around. These sorts of things can galvanize you, man. And so I think there is a positive that can come from this. And ultimately, I also think, right, you see the 2 minutes on the clock here, finishing practice, I think was the right decision, right? I think a lot of times you would see where coaches, something like this happens, they almost always end practice. Like, somebody tears their ACL near the end of practice, practice is done. Like, vibes are dead. Let's regroup, come back tomorrow. But I like the fact that this was going to be the last thing. We're doing a 2 minute. Let's bounce back from this. Let's go on the field. Let's get the job done, and then we'll be done. Right? So, because that's going to happen. You can't just stop in a real game. This happens in a game. Right. And as a team, you go through this oh my gosh, I can't believe this just happened. Like, that's our guy. I can't believe this just happened to our guy, right? But then you have to go. Next play's happening. You have to go. You have to win the game. Like, every game matters. You only have 17 of them through the season. So I do think between the galvanization that can happen through these sorts of things and also the bounce back ability, right? You go from the practice Saturday to the practice Sunday, you needed a bounce back. In Sunday's practice, as you're working on bouncing back from a bad day, one of your guys gets an incredibly serious injury, and then immediately following, you have to go finish practice. These are positives that can come from a very negative situation. And so I'll be interested to see how the team continues to react as we go into practice tomorrow with the Ravens, and then the preseason game, and then go back into practice, right? We come back to Indy, start to go back to practice on Saturday, Sunday, Monday. How's the team going to react? How does this or will this be a situation where it can help this team grow together? Training camp's already like that anyways, right? They go to Grand Park, and a lot of teams do this. Go to Grand Park, everybody stays in dorms. You have a roommate, and it's a way, right? You get, from what I've heard, kind of get assigned to different tables and away from your position groups, and kind of mixing and mingling with different groups, so that everybody has a chance to really get to know each other and to be familiar with each other, and to really become a family, right? That's what the Colts is. Colts is a family organization. And so I think this situation overall can be one of those. And I also think, from my opinion of, hey, we should cut this kid, I think not cutting him, like I saw somebody say that Chris Ballard went up to Trey and was talking to Trey, and I'm sure there was some, hey, we need to learn how to take care of our own. But the fact that he hasn't been cut yet, I assume a part of it is, hey, man, listen, I understand you're trying to make a play. You got to take care of your own. But listen, we're going to help you. We're going to work with you. Just keep putting the work in. If you make the team, you make the team. If you don't, you don't. But just come to work. Keep putting the work in. Don't let this, take you off track. And I could see that being the case, and I think there's a positive that comes from that. Not cutting him could go one of two ways. Either the locker room could not want him there because he's a danger to the team, right, which is totally possible. And if that's the case, the leaders will speak up and he won't be there. Or they keep him, they rally around him, they help him, because like Shane said, he's not feeling great, down in the – and anybody would be, like, even an opponent, right? Like, it's not like you're going into the games hating each other, right? You have to be competitive, you have to win. And so at the end of the day, I think rallying around him and the leaders on the team and different players on the team, that cohesion that can happen, even if he doesn't end up making the team, like that cohesion and just being there for each other, that togetherness is something that can help. Like, it's just one thing in sports, and especially in sports like football and hockey, you have to be together and on the same page. You have to be. Right, you have to be so together. The teams that are the tightest win, right? Even in basketball, you look at the Pacers. Top to bottom, very talented. Top to bottom, one of the better rosters in the NBA. But they don't have that, like, top 5, top 10 talent guys on their team. But they were so together. They played well together. They were so tight that their connection just kept them winning because they believed in themselves, right? They were all that they needed, right? No matter where they were all that they needed. And I think the Colts are already going to draw some inspiration from the Pacers. We've heard some of those guys talk about that, and I think this can be a similar situation that helps them, refocus and keep those things in perspective. So overall a very negative situation. Hate to see it for the player. Hope he's able to come back, and I hope, whether it's with the Colts or somebody else, I hope he gets an opportunity to at least try to be on a roster at some point. This is a devastating injury, and hopefully there's an update at some point, through the rehab process, that we can come back and say, hey, he's doing really good in rehab. It sounds like, he's going to be okay. Maybe he will get another opportunity in the NFL. And if that happens, I'll let you guys know down the road. But nonetheless, I just thought it was important to talk about this. This is a serious situation. This is something that, of course, last year was a big deal in the NFL. They made a whole rule around hip drop tackles that you can't do it. And here we're seeing it again, right? And it's an unfortunate part of football. And even if you don't believe in hip drop tackles, I don't necessarily believe in hip drop tackles. I play defense. How else are you going to get them if you're trying to catch them from behind? But these things are going to happen. They just can't happen to your own team. And I think that this is a growing situation where he can grow, situation where the team can grow, and where we can get better as we continue to go forward and be more together and continue to lock in. So you guys let me know what your thoughts are on this situation, how you feel about it. What are your thoughts? You let me know, whatever it is, down in the comment section. Of course, if you enjoy the content, make sure you hit the like button and make sure you're subscribed with notifications on so you continue to get notified anytime we drop any content on this channel. And of course, with that said, I appreciate you stopping by for another video. And as always, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and go Colts.